Well, I can think of many reasons that a criminal expungement may be a good idea for someone, but just, a few reasons off the top of my head. Maybe it's a situation where there are jobs that you're essentially disqualified from because of your criminal history. If that's your situation, it makes sense for you to pursue a criminal expungement. Maybe it's a situation where you're unable to secure housing, you're unable to rent an apartment or rent a home or purchase a home because of your criminal history. Well, under those circumstances, it would make good sense for you to pursue a criminal expungement. Maybe it's a situation where you want to legally possess a firearm, but because of your criminal history that if you actually go through the application process, you're going to be denied. Well, that's a situation where it would make good sense to seek out an attorney to try to obtain a criminal expungement of your record. Well, there's two types of expungement under Minnesota law. The first type is what's called a statutory expungement, and quite frankly, that's the best type of expungement that you can obtain because it's an expungement where if you have a conviction that meets the requisite criteria under the statute and you're able to convince a court to expunge your record, the court will not only expunge or seal its own records of your criminal history, but it will also compel essentially all the other local government agencies, including the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, to also seal your record. So that's the best or the most ideal type of expungement. The second type of expungement is also effective, just not as effective as the first type. It's what's called the judicial expungement. And that's where you have a criminal conviction that doesn't meet the statutory criteria that we just spoke about. But let's say that under this circumstance, you're able to convince a court to grant your expungement request. In this situation, the court will seal its own records of your criminal history. It's just that the court under this type of expungement is not in a position to compel the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension to seal your criminal history or expunge it. So both types of expungements are very helpful. It's just that the statutory expungement is the most ideal type of expungement to obtain. That's a very good question, also a very difficult question to answer. This is what I can tell you. When the court is looking at whether to grant your expungement request, what they're doing is, or what they're going to do is essentially weigh two competing interests. The interest that you have in actually having your criminal record expunged or sealed, and they're going to weigh that against the interest that the state has to keep your criminal history readily available to the public. And the court will engage in a balancing act to weigh those competing interests. What I can say is that the better that you're able to establish to the court that your criminal history or conviction is representing a severe hardship upon you, the more likely it is that the court will grant your criminal expungement request. Also, the better that you're able to establish that since this conviction you've learned and that you've been law-abiding for a number of years, I think the likelihood of the court granting your criminal expungement request, if you establish those things, increases. I will say that our law firm has a tremendous track record of success in these type of cases. Quite frankly, all types of criminal convictions, domestic assaults, DWI. So, if you've listened to this video and you feel like you've got a compelling case for an expungement, call us. We'll sit down with you for free. We'll listen to your story. We'll go through whatever documentation that you bring to us, and we'll give you our unvarnished opinion as to what chances that you have or the likelihood of success that the court will grant your expungement request. But we help all different types of people in these situations. Again, if you feel like you have a compelling case for expungement, please give us a call.